may as well start, considering I started a little early. Get everything into position. It's over here, but I'm actually gonna look at reference on that screen. Where did it go? Okay. I gotta sit on a box. I should probably make it more interesting than a box, but for now, it's a box. I guess I can work directly on this for some reason. Why not? Hello. Just have things falling out the side of the box easy. I mean, that's actually pretty cute. Alchemic supplies. Well, how was everybody today on the 4th of July? Is not doing anything, obviously, so. Haven't gone to family to do fireworks in a very long time. Not since I was really a kid at this point. Because someone used to host like a firework party every year. And we get the little smoke bombs and put them into bottles and I'd make colored smoke stuck in a bottle, and I thought that was very cool. There we go, there's Sassy Face. Oh, too long. I have commissions! I didn't read you the post on fedi, but I'm like, wait, I've introduced myself to many people. I should probably boost that again. I always start by filling out the faces of my sketching because it just looks better. I don't know why I put eyebrows when I don't really end up using them. Is that a 1, 2, 3? Oh, I split this one. Okay. What is a fedi? Fedi is Fediverse. The Federated Universe. And like Mastodon, if you've heard of Mastodon, Mastodon is on the Fediverse. Which I am on Mastodon. Which people are flocking to because Twitter being very stupid. But dumb. It is a microblogging platform. Not the Fediverse, but Mastodon is. It's like Twitter. Twitter be setting itself on fire every day. Yeah, pretty much. Keeps happening. And like the rate limits are like, wow, you're actually going to kill the platform. Not even memeing or being over dramatic. It's what are you doing? What you doing? I should probably, since this is an image, I can do speed paint. I can have this TweetDeck is verified only after this one? Because I know that they were rolling out, like, the beta one. Because the legacy one is broken. Because they broke the API. Like, this wasn't even the old API. It was just, like, the new one, but they broke it. Is what I heard. So the fact that they're gonna make it verified only, it's just like, you don't want people to use anything. How are you supposed to, like, you gotta use things. What does that hand look like? But yeah, because I didn't think the VTubers were gonna move over, because they didn't leave before. Like, they hadn't bothered to leave before. But I guess the fact that, like, you just literally can't use it is a big motivator. In a long tweet of announcing the beta being out and telling the new features, the very last thing on the list was that it'll be verified only in 30 days. Oh. Oh boy. Oh, howdy. Boy, howdy. That sure is a website you got there. Also, this post isn't meaningful or anything. I just literally, it was like, go through my clip studio poses, which I feel like I'm missing a lot for some reason. I don't know why. My phone went off with a message notification. I'm like, let me check. I'm like, no, you're busy. Download a bunch. Yeah, I know. That's the thing, though. Is like I did download. I own a lot of poses, and I was pretty sure they were downloaded. See, I forgot because I made this from the old one. I forgot the thing that I added. I added this because this was originally in the 3D model, but I just didn't fucking put it on there. But it's also missing in this because I was making it off the old one. I'm like, no. Remember this exists. I just need to do one pixel. Eyebrow, as much as I love chunky eyebrows. Yeah, that's a face. Yeah, we didn't even buy fireworks or anything. I don't know if we're allowed to have fireworks in here, but like in this area, but like people set them off anyways. It's fucking the South. You cannot tell people they cannot make explosions. the only time they really super enforce that is when we're in a drought, but we have a lot of rain. We have too much goddamn fucking rain and thunderstorms right now. So we are not in a drought at all, in the slightest. It stormed yesterday, the power was out. What was everybody been finding me on Meditex? Or, I say Meditex, on Mastodon. Whatchamacallit? I just did made a going live post. Because I only have notifications for when people, like, make replies. Just making sure nothing's up. Oh, okay. I got it. Wait, no, but I had 2 Meditex notifications. Hold on. Hold, please. Huh? Someone said you're forgetting the rest of us can search by keywords. You're not supposed to be able to full text search Mastodon or else you'll get reported from the admins. This is a little bit of extreme curl. My hair, it gets bigger every time. Every drawing, make my hair bigger. Maximum volume, yeah. Then suddenly my hand hurts. I wasn't hurting all day long, and then suddenly it kind of hurts a little bit. And not the way that it hurt last time. This is just like, I don't know, latent pain from when I smashed my hand on the doorknob. It still feels bruised. And it's been fine, but then suddenly it just pings a little bit more. But like, I have to do stuff. As long I don't think I'm damaging it. I think it's just annoying. I sure use this dark outline here instead of the lighter one I have, because I think I added that later, so a lot of them have. I don't have to style match my thing particularly. Oh right, I had the curl here. That's why that was obscured that way. God, I was doing this so I could fill it in. This is the knee, not a curl. I think. Probably, like, get the sketch out. But where's the fun in that? Just, I'll guess. Hold on, let me finish the hair. At least get a general. I mean, I should do this more where this is just blocked out instead of, defining so many details. I'm allowed to do that, but I just don't a lot. Oh, that's actually an ear. like the hair and the skin, and then I just do everything else afterwards. It's just like, right, how to do it. I like it. I like the hair. I like it. Better than yesterday. I was not liking what I was doing. Or yesterday? The day before yesterday? I don't know. I don't know. Ollie, I love you. I'm doing things. I can't have you. Oh, yes, I can't have you in my life. I'm not drawing, so just... You gotta relax and make sure I'm Rapunzel. Gotta relax and just stop licking my fingers, please. Relax. Contain yourself. Refrain from wantoningly licking. Pushing against my fingers. She wants endless cuddles. I gave her wet food, then somebody threw up in it because I left her alone, so I need to watch her eat the wet food again. And she hasn't had it in a little bit, so she probably wants it. That's why she's so needy. Because she got an old lady stomach that doesn't do well until she gets like more fiber and wet food, which we put fiber in her wet food. We just don't feed them on a regular schedule. Should probably start doing that. Stick your face against my other hand, my mouse hand. Baby cat. Usually do dithering. If I do it, break it up. Oh, why not? Let's do a little dithering. Mystic, have you done much pixel art lately at all? I haven't seen it if you have. I liked when we did that drawing thing. That was fun. That drawing thing. I mean, the group, the shared drawing space, but it was 4 pixel art. I never know, like, on holidays, if, like, people are gonna be busy and actually do stuff, or is because it's a holiday and they don't work, there'll be a lot of people. It, like, really depends on the holiday, I guess. Because I feel like people are actually doing 4th of July stuff. Because it's really just an excuse to party. I don't, not to get too political, I don't agree with, like, don't celebrate America, it's destroy whatever. I'm like, I want this to be a good country. I want to be proud of my country. I don't want to just annihilate America. I want to be proud of my country. Not currently proud, but don't want its destruction. I remember a friend go off on 4th of July and she's Canadian. She's like, Canada doesn't have any of these problems, and now Canada's having ultra-conservative problems. And, like, quite a few other things, and inflation, other things. I'm just like, cool, where are you now? But I'm not friends anymore to be like, hey, Canada also has problems. It's not a problem, Olympics, but, like, I don't know. Shit on my country on the day that I want to be. So what was it? What was it before, like, someone said, like, America sucks most of the time. Can we have one day where we can just wear stupid bald eagle t-shirts and be ridiculously over-American? Let us have one day. I used to have a American Eagle t-shirt, not American Eagle, an eagle t-shirt, a bald eagle t-shirt that, it was like the 3-moon wolf image, but it was the bald eagle, and it's just so ugly, and it's really thick and gross, but it's just found it very funny, so I wear it on 4th of July, but I don't know where it is anymore. I don't think it fits me anymore. Yeah, I'm not liking the dithering. Fuck that. Abscond. Keep the chunky. Was that a third color? Oh, I'm missing a buffer color. Ah, fuck it again. Keep doing this. I wonder, it did seem like a little too dark already. Okay, I figured I should probably make a reintroduction post. I just kind of assumed and talked to people. I'm like, right, I should... New people should say hi. I don't even know where my introduction post is anymore. I don't know how I'm gonna format it. I guess I'm just gonna have this one picture. This would be a good time to have, like, alchemical material somewhere. Probably a good idea. Hair. My cat is actually being very still. Probably talking less, but... Again, I keep forgetting to post on other servers that I'm doing stuff. I should probably do that. But I keep not. Gotten so bad about like advertising my own streams. It's like too banded. I did have in the art like separations. See, I like it so much better without this. If I do like this, I like it so much better, but like, but this looks good. It's harder to make work. Also because I banded this too much. This is the really thinner transition that kind of works better that way. Lurker now has got to take care of us. Thank you! Lurks are fine. I was gonna add things to my timer bot, but I forgot. Forgot what I was gonna add. Just thought about it just now. Yeah. This looks good like that. See, I'm using it as highlights, but this is like actual not highlights, it's coloring. It's like what should be the base color, but I don't want to make it the base color. But I should expand my horizons. Good music. You're vibing, yeah. What are you looking at, baby? I need to turn on streaming lights. Oh, I'm just grabbing something, sweetheart. Why'd you have to leave? Hold on. I'm trying to look at a thing. Google Home. Lighting. Hallway lights on. Oh, okay. My colors. Thank you. I like this gradient, which is why I'm like, I need to stick with this light color because it looks good. It actually looks good, so I should use it. It's just a little bit harder to do in application. Yeah, I'm always so conscious of the fact that I don't like talk a lot. And everyone's like, it's fine. It's vibing. But the thing is that I personally don't find art streams very entertaining most of the time. So I feel bad if I'm not doing something that I find entertaining, but other people do, and I like what I'm doing. I do watch everything back, though. I do watch stuff back. Like, you don't know how many times that I keep watching yours and Kane's TikToks that I edit. To, like, just evaluate myself. Like, I'll immediately go watch my, streams back. To make sure there wasn't a glaring issue that I somehow missed. I just don't have a wealth of clips to edit. I guess I can edit like old things that are posted in the clips channel for you. I'm out of stuff to edit for Kane as well, because he worky have not streamed again. Unless I missed it. May have missed it. Sometimes I do that. Hair. He did a short star rail. Oh, okay. He didn't keep the VOD up. Oh, I wonder why. Alright, I didn't go to the star rail because I'm tired of hearing about star rail. It's when you're not part of something and you hear about it over and over again, it's just like, I don't, okay. Like, it happened with Game of Thrones. It happened with Game of Thrones, back when it was starting out, like when I was in college, that I got, we had a club called Queers and Allies, and, we'd go to IHOP when it got out at like 2 a.m. because the meeting was like 10 p.m. And we'd go to IHOP, and then I'd ride with people because I didn't have a car yet. And I got stuck at a table before I had a smartphone in a 2-hour conversation of everyone at the table but me talking about Game of Thrones. And I'm just sitting here like, I'm just gonna stare at my plate. Okay. Yeah, before I had a smartphone, there was literally nothing to do except just sit there and listen to things you don't understand. And you don't have any particular interest in understanding. I'm not saying the group chat's like that. It's just like I can mute it and go on my day, mute it for a few hours and go on my day. But like that time in college was just like, I hate this. But more so the fact that before smartphone, so I had nothing else I could do. Yeah, a lot of people, I guess especially young people, probably don't know how to like handle themselves when they have to wait for long periods without a phone or anything to do. Because it used to be that's just that's what you did. You went somewhere, you couldn't do anything in the meantime, you couldn't work on other stuff on the internet, you couldn't talk to your friends if they weren't with you, so you just were there. You didn't do anything else, you just waited. I want to say this is dark, but it looks good. I'm gonna add this here, but I will get outline there. I don't get people are chronically on their phones. I use mine so little I can get away with charging only every other night. That's pretty, yeah, I do it like every other night. Like, it's also because I'm on my computer all the time. I'm not actually on my phone. But a lot of people have to be on their phones. And like when you're out, I'm like, when I'm out, I'm not even on my phone very often. Like my parents are on their phones more often than I am. And they're the generation that talked about, you know, kids can't pay attention or sit still without their phone. People are... Because there was a push at some point in time to have people stop being on their phones during dinner, so you can actually like enjoy family time. But I haven't heard that talked about anymore, so I don't know if people just gave up on having time where phones are not allowed. There's some things like, hey, at the group, like at the... People are saying like in our group when we go out to eat, we all put our phones in a pile, and whoever can't ignore picking up their phone has to pay the tip on the meal. I thought that was funny. It was a little mini challenge. That was fun. We also had rules like that, like, cause we weren't like where I was in college. We weren't like a party house, but we had small gatherings. My friend did, which was my friend and also my landlord. Her dad was the landlord. She'd had little get-togethers, and eventually, after like 3 times of people being obscenely late or saying they're gonna come and not, she made a rule that I'm like, if you are more than 20 minutes late, you have to show up with pizza or beer or alcohol, or I'm not letting you in. And then someone did. The person who's chronically late came in and brought pizza. And it's like, cool, there you go. You're allowed. Win-win for everybody. I don't know win-win for everybody, but yeah. Good solutions, yep. And it was that one specific person that was very fashionably late all the time. They're very rock star-like because they did actually sing in a band and stuff. Very, very nice. I always forget that they were my roommate or housemate for a little bit. They didn't live there long. So, no longer fashionably late when you live there, but... They're really cool. And everyone had a crush on them, because, you know... They were pretty. There were some really pretty girls in college. Because, like... we had one roommate who was an actor in the fine arts program. Not the fine arts, the acting program or whatever. And, I need to look at the hand on this, hold on. And, shit, I closed it. She was older. She was not old, but, like, older than us. At the time, like, we were in our mid-20s, and she was in her, like, late 20s. She was gorgeous. She had red hair, like natural red hair, and tall and endowed. She was just very pretty, and she liked the attention. Not in a weird way. She was very nice. Just she let people fawn on her, understandably, because she was just nice and smart and pretty. Yeah, we cycled through one particular room, the room beside mine that shared the bathroom. For some reason, we rotated a lot of people through that room. That room, roommates would never stay very long. And for a while, like, I think there wasn't anyone in there, like, around the end. I'm like, cool, good. Don't have to share my bathroom. Because it's not sharing the bathroom, it's that the doors to the room were in the bathroom, as in, they had a door to the bathroom, and I had a door to the bathroom that met each other, and then also there was a door to the hallway. So the bathroom had 3 doors in it. Just like, what? Why would you do this? Why? It's a renovated plantation home. It was a renovated plantation home because this was in Georgia. And it was so big that it was divided into 4 units, and our unit had had 4 rooms, a living room, and 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. One of them was in the attic. Living room, outdoor patio, small kitchen, entrance in the back that has laundry, and it was at least like 100 years old. So its renovations made weird choices because it was renovated specifically to like be a renting place, and things like that. But it just definitely, like, odd choices were made because like it still had like all of the doors were, it's really tall. It's a super tall ceiling because when it gets hot and humid, you want the all that to be higher up on the ceiling. But they had windows on the top of each door that were, clear because they're meant to bounce natural light because it was made before like electricity. So it had a natural lighting solution. All right, I got the hand. Go back to that. So it's pretty cool being in that house. But at least I only stayed in the dorm for a year and it was miserable, so I have fun memories of being in that house. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, but I already have the sketch, so probably fine. Let me save it back up. I haven't had things like break in a long time, but I'm scared. Scared. Alright, hour and in. I'm not tired at all, so that's good. Because the way I work is basically when I'm done with an actual finished an asset, I get tired. I'm like, I want to take a break. But if I'm just working on one thing, I can go for longer. Usually, I say that now, but maybe in like 30 minutes I'm like, no, I'm tired. This one, nothing seems super difficult on this one. Not doing anything spectacular on it, so it should just be a case of, oh, just doing the render. Rendering away. I'm so glad I got over my, like, fear of being judged for using 3D models. I was like, no, I don't fucking care. It works. Looks good. That's how I make art. I'll use the 3D models. I'm not going to suffer through trying to figure out an anatomy just for the sake of being, like, legit or whatever. What is this hand doing, actually? Let me look up. I think that was it, did I? Oh, it's supposed to be the pinky. It's just a little too big. So it looks a little weird. It's because pinky. Wait, like this and like that? Yeah. Okay. How's that here? That'd be the ring finger. That shouldn't be longer than that. And then it should be longer than that one. A little better. You can't quite get the curve of it as well. To, like, accentuate that I'm doing a thing. It's not bad. It works well. 3D models are different than just taking pictures of yourself and posting a reference on that. People would argue with you because I don't just do the 3D models and then look at it. I do 3D models and trace over it and do my own thing because why would I? There's no reason for me to not do that. It gets the job done. My art looks good. Yeah, I can't draw from scratch, but I don't need to. I'm not doing this to prove myself. I'm doing it just to make art. Just gets in the whole like, well, AI is just taking shortcuts, and it's just like it's a little different. It's intent. Intent is the key. If you're making things not on purpose, like I do things, but I'm doing them for a purpose because I know what to expect and what's supposed to happen. This is different than this, but I think I had that for a reason. Even though I really, really want to like make batch together colors, sometimes I do have those small variations for a reason. There's some elitism about it. I thought 2D was a stylistic choice. Well, it's not 2D, 3D. It's like me using a 3D model. It's less common now, but when I grew up using the eraser tool on digital art and being able to redraw your lines, people were elitist about because you could undo and redo. To show how old I am, people thought the undo button was cheating. So evolution of that is when 3D models, posing models became more popular. People were just like, no, you should remember anatomy yourself. You can't really, if you don't know anatomy, it'll show through your artwork, which probably does show through my artwork, but it looks good enough. So I don't know if there's as much elitism about it, but there was at least at a point, there was a lot of elitism about that. That is wild to think that people go by. There was a time period where people were like, no, using the undo button is cheating. And this was at the point that, like, most people didn't have tablets, so digital stuff was with a mouse as well. So you weren't really drawing it. If you can't physically hold your art, is it really art? Wild. Some people's logic on this, not realize if they didn't draw a straight line themselves instead of using a ruler, they realized they should be able to do that. I mean, actually, we were taught how to draw straight lines without rulers. Not because it was better, just because you have more control over your hands. The key is to look at where you want to end up with your line. Instead of trying to follow it along, you look at where you're going and your hand will follow it a lot easier. But now it's just a little trick. But yeah. Yeah, those people don't super exist anymore. I'm sure there's pretty, like, really old artists who are like that. And it's just, they're just not online. So you don't hear from them. But yeah, definitely most people were against anime as an art style because, like, now I kind of see what they were on about. Not really the way that they did it, but anime is very stylized. But the stylization is based in reality. So, for example, this little nose here, this is extremely stylized. But I kind of know where the nose is and, like, know that's kind of weird. That looks weird. This looks good like that. It's a stylization for a nose. It's a shorthand for a nose. The way that the anime, like, that nose, it's like a shorthand. And the gap in between the mouth is meant to just, like, soften the lips and stuff. But people didn't know that. The kids who were drawing anime didn't know that, so things look really off because they weren't drawing from, like... They don't have to draw realistically, but they weren't drawing from understanding what is being stylized. And it helps a lot with your art if you do understand what is being stylized. Like, why do you do this? Because I see that a lot. Like, I saw a lot on, like, on Tumblr mostly. People who stylize things for, like, no particular reason, and sometimes it can look good, sometimes it looks awkward because it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. There's nothing bad, but, like, I still see Tumblr artists who have, like, everyone has flush faces. I'm like, that's their choice, but it just kind of looks weird to me. I don't know. It just, I don't know. But then again, there's, like, artists like, what's her fucking Jen Barrels or something, that everything's iridescent. Absolutely everything is geometry-based and iridescent, and it looks pretty fucking good. She can charge, like, $800 for commissions. I talked about that at one point in time. I wasn't against it at all. But, all the comments were like, how can you charge this much? It's like, because she gets commissions. If people will pay $800 for her sketch commissions, or was it Barachan? Maybe Barachan. Barachan is the one who maybe turned into that style. If she gets clients that will give her an $800 commission, that's actually not the right color. That's what her prices should be at. Yeah, I think it was actually Barachan. And she only took, like, 5 at a time. I posted it, like, in the art server, and I was like, wow. Wow, I wasn't like, she's so good. She can do that. That's, what a dream. To be able to charge that much. And then some people took it as, like, wow, that's too expensive, or whatever. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, yes, everyone should be able to, it would be nice if everyone could afford art, but, you know, artists need to live and go by what they're worth. Because her time is precious. Why should she spend more time doing more lower paying things when she can do few higher paying things? If you don't remember Barachan, she was very, very popular for, like, in Gaia Online and DeviantArt and stuff. Cause she just did anime pretty well, but in her own style, and she did the Oikaki? That thing. She did a lot of stuff like that, so she was doing, like, binary art, and it appealed to people a lot. So I think she's still pretty popular within, like, the people who remember her, but I don't know how popular she is now. obviously she had a bunch of Twitter followers, but she would take commissions that were sketched in pink. They were just called pink sketches. I'm not boobing right. I gotta boob right. Art is luxury. I think it's okay for luxuries to specify. I mean, I wish it wasn't a luxury. Cause I remember people saying, or I can't remember the post that was just like, art used to be in everyone's lives. Like, people in the community just did art and decorated all their things. Like, you'd have tables super decorated and things like that. But then when we started mass producing goods, which I think is fine because the price goes down. But when we started mass producing goods, like, art became a luxury. Used to be, you got that, you spent a lot on that one item, it lasted for a long time, and usually was beautifully decorated. So, mass-produced into really just very utility things is actually a new phenomenon, historically. And I think that's why some people don't really appreciate artists as much, because they don't have art in their lives. And don't live with art around them that's not just a print on the wall. And most people don't actually have prints. They're just like, oh, neat art. I think we should put more art into our daily lives. But I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I don't have like super decorated items or anything like that. But it's an interesting post. Doesn't, well, because the post was like, mass produced bad. I'm like, mass produced is good because it lowers costs. But should introduce luxury, not in the sense like silly, but necessity. Yes, you don't need art to survive. Well, psychologically, you need art to survive. I would argue that you do need art to survive. Art is expression. Psychologically need art, because if you actually did live, because like the billionaires that live in, like, what's it, like Kim Kardashian lives in an entire house that is just white. Everything is white and nothing is void. Everything's void. Like, even people who like super aren't into art, I like, just like, that would drive me insane. It's just, it's nothingness. And that's why you have like cave paintings on the wall and things like that. I'm not, okay, so this was done nicely, but this is not exactly the same as what I'm doing. I mean, I might need more buffer colors. I feel like I'm missing one here and here. But no, art is not the psychological needs of survivals are one step above the physical needs of survival. But ideally, we are past the needs of physical survival, though the fact that children don't get lunches is awful. That shouldn't be a thing. School lunches should be free. But yeah. Agni Hill. Sorry, I read that as 2 eyes. Hello. We're talking about art, but in like a really maybe too deep sense. Oh, where's my shoulder on this? Like here? This is getting a territory where I have more to say than I can easily type on my phone, but yes, lunches should be free. Yes, children's lunches should be free. I'm talking, I don't know what is with me today. I'm talking about really deep topics, and like, I've been thinking about them all day. It's been weird. I haven't just chilled. I'm just thinking about stuff. It's never too deep. Now it's getting interesting. But yeah, no, like, because there's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and there's like multiple steps of the psychological needs, but you know, the first needs are like a roof over your head, food, water, yeah, and protection from the elements. And then after that, there is like basic survival needs of like, you want to be accepted, you want to be part of a community. It's a whole thing. So we were talking about it like in therapy, of course. Of course. That I'm just like not at the point where I can get to the top level, because my root support under, to be like a confident person, you have to have a support structure under that part of the pyramid. And it's my family, but they have problems. They're not bad at all. It's just they have problems. They have problems being consistent, so I can't consistently rely on them emotionally. And Maslow was a person for survival. But yeah, going back to now Maslow. I'm doing a PhD in philosophy, so I live for this stuff. Maslow's model is really basic, though. I'm not a psychologist, but there seems to be some issues with it in some case. I'm sure it's probably overgeneralized. I would probably get that it's probably actually like much deeper than that. But in general, I agree with like, you know, there's a tiered system to like what you need to establish this next step. This is thick. And I didn't talk about how art played into that, but like, mostly I just meant that there are psychological needs that I feel like are still part of like survival. Because I feel like not going insane is survival. Seems to be accurate. That pyramid is basically IRL fighting game tier list. Generally seems to be accurate, yeah. Alright, I gotta look at my own reference now, because I don't have colors for certain things. I have colors for this, though. Because I didn't look super into it, but I did, like, study it a few times to be like, oh, there's this that you need. Got everything top tier. Fighting for your survival, low tier. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Question is then if art fulfills a specific psychological need that cannot be fulfilled by other sources. So, but what I was talking about, the mass-produced goods, it's that, you know, the items that you got, unless you were like pretty rich and could import things, were from people near you in your community. And people near you in your community often had the same, you know, thoughts about stuff and whole moral values and things like that, which is, being part of a tribe is very important to humans. And artists were part of the tribe instead of this extra thing that some people find frivolous. Like, you just, like when people made stuff, they express themselves into it because it's their reason of being, I guess. That's what you could say. I don't know how to explain that. Like, the trades, like, art was more of a trade than it was some fancy thing. It's only recently that art is seen as something fancy and luxurious. Art used to be in everyday lives, and I think that was actually a lot important psychologically in terms of, like, unifying a community. You're expressing a thought that people agree with. So, like, as a kid, I definitely was like, art don't have to be about fancy art. It's not about the art. I just want to make cool things. And then, as I'm getting older, I'm like, I still want to make cool things. But art does mean more than just things. Thankfully, I'm still able to, like, detach and, like, make art for money's sake, and I still like it and do it. It's perfectly fine. Like, I'm not making this for some deep reason. I'm making it because I'm cute. I like my character. But I'm, like, I guess you can say I'm understanding more art more, especially in the context of relating to other people who don't appreciate art. Like, I'm understanding the social reason why they don't appreciate art when, you know, back in the day, artists had patrons. Like how we have a Patreon, that seemed like some extra thing, but artists had patrons. That's how they functioned. And sure, they were like nobles and stuff. It would be seen like a luxury, but often the things that they painted were viewed by many, and if they work like on a chapel and a ceiling, you know, you'd have everyone in the community would see that, and that's their church, their chapel, their cathedral. It became an important part, and well, like I was saying a lot earlier about like what was I saying? About how like people don't know how to like sit and do nothing without their phones now. A lot of art was made for the fact that people had times where they would sit and do nothing. There was nothing else to do. At church, you're supposed to just reflect on yourself and listen, but you had art. And art definitely had a cultural impact in terms of like, especially in like church art, because I took medieval art and architecture, just to be clear, which is why I'm into this, but and specifically using church as an example. But it shaped cultural beliefs. Like, there were depictions of moments in like the Bible and stuff that weren't like as established, and then also a lot of people were illiterate, so that's how there was their shape of religion, and religion has been a part of culture for a long time, but usually very closely tied together. Well, that's actually the whole thing's white. I'm stupid. But art helped shape their understanding of the world. And it was kind of expected that, you know, you would make these things like what's it called? When you have a kind of like a picture of a demon or something. No. Gargoyles. Gargoyles are called, the term for a gargoyle is a grotesque. That it depicts something bad, and you're supposed to like get connotations of why it's bad and things like that, because it's a monster. But they were pretty cool, but it helped, like, not helped, but like shaped beliefs of you know, the divine. What's good, what's bad, what's appropriate, what's gonna happen if you stray. Which, some of those things obviously are bad things because the way they were used. But I don't know, it tied communities together, and communities are a very important part of humanity. It's why we're here. It's why we are dominant, because we have society, and society is based on human cooperation, and human cooperation requires community bonding, and like going down to tribe level of community bonding. And art used to be a very important part of that. Like when you have like oral history, oral songs, like you just have songs passed down from generation to generation to generation that have been around for thousands of years. That's art. But they became an important part of who you are, who the people around you are, what you value, and they're all because of an artist made something. And we've lost that. We've lost that a little bit. God, this fucking deep talk. What am I doing? So you're saying that it was a tool for establishing absence of cultural narrative and identity? I don't know about absence, but like it defined who you are. It defined your place in the world, like your understanding of the world and who you are and what's important to the people around you, is how I'm trying to define that. Not absence, a sense. Oh, a sense. A sense of cultural narrative and identity. Yeah, it definitely tied a lot into identity. but now it's seen as like a luxury thing for you to have art. Like it's a luxury to have art made specifically for you. That has always been a luxury, and you know, peasants don't get their portraits painted. That's why the girl with the pearl earring is so important historically, because it was just a servant girl. But consuming art and having it part of your daily life was important part of take a nap. Yeah. My viewpoints about society and art. Yeah, you fucking VTuber talking about society who stays at home and doesn't leave. Don't think I'm qualified, but I've got thoughts anyways. Because I don't live in society. I'm commenting about society, but I don't live in society, actually. Told my mom, I was like, I think I'm feral. Because, like, it was... like... just, like, the whole script of... Are you a rewards member of Casey's? Blah, 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 blah. This is on discount. Have a good day. I'm like, I can't do that. It's just too soul-sucking. But I also don't live in society. So I just... I live in society, but, like, I don't contribute as a meaningful member of society. So... I've gone to the point where I cannot function in, like, a day-to-day normal job. We live in a society... Painting. Kant was very influential in explaining the whole world of Quasenberg. I don't know what that is. Kant or Quasenberg is. This is the point where I would Google, but I'm streaming. I still say Google, even though I don't use Google search anymore. I use Brave search for anything, but if I'm actually trying to look in something deep, I will use Kagi. That's why it sounds weird. Kent was he never left his hometown. Huh. I mean, there's actually, like, that was somewhat common to, like, never leave your hometown. Like, maybe, like, you would visit, like, nowadays you would definitely visit other places, but there's a lot of people, at least especially in the South, who just don't ever move out of their hometown, and gets shittier and shittier people on drugs, but you can't escape it. It's where everybody knows you. Everybody knows you, and it takes a lot to leave and go somewhere you don't know. And you're still really successful is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Like, I know I'm not completely off base by having observations about society, but sometimes it's just funny to me. I'm just like, yeah, I don't I don't participate. And that's also because I'm taught by the way my dad talks of to be a successful and contributing member of society, you should be making money. You should be you should be able to have a house and provide for a family, or else you're not doing things correctly. Which, you know, I disagree with. But I have the luxury of disagreeing with it because they do support me. No matter what my dad says, my mom still would take care of me no matter what. And he listens to my mom no matter what. He could have left if he wanted. He just didn't want to. Yeah. Because I'm at that point that I'm like, it'd be nice to go somewhere else, but also all my doctors are here, and getting new doctors is a fucking pain. And everything I know is here, and I have a support system and stuff like that. I like this track a lot. Alright, what color? I have a blue lavender pants. That's actually lighter. I've lost what I was talking about. I don't know. Art is important to society. But people underestimate, like, what is art? Because there's people like, I'm not an artist, I can't do anything. I'm like, anyone can create art. You just have to understand art is not, like, a finished piece that you sell. Like, art can just be you cooked really well and it looked really good. It can be arranging your items in your house to where you feel comfortable. Just controlling your visual space or auditory space. Buying wind chimes. That's putting art in your life. I want a wind chime. I need a trigger. And you're producing more value for society than a lot of people with BS jobs. And even if you don't do anything, you're at least not making the world worse. I hope I'm not making the world worse. And you know, if those BS jobs are necessary for certain things, you know, it is what it is. Though I don't know if you mean BS jobs like execs or like working at a retail at Walmart is a BS job. I'm like, but it's gotta be done. But no, it could mean just like executive, C-suite, whatever shit. The art is an empty concept. I suspect there is no line to draw. Yeah, I mean, art is subjective. That's the term, and it sounds annoying, especially if you go to fucking art college and you hear it all the fucking time, but it's because it's true. Art is subjective. Art is defined by, you know, the artist, because there is such thing as death of the artist, but it's not as clean cut as people think it would be. Like, you have to understand the cultural impact. Like, that's the reason people find, you know, talking about old books and stuff really boring. And talking about the artist's lives or whatever, but understanding the cultural impact of their work and what was going on during that time is really important. Because I did like I hated my medieval art and architecture teacher because a lot of stuff he was just stupid about. But he did a good job of like trying to explain why it was important to the people during that time period, you know, what their life was like and why they would find this piece successful and what the psychological effects are from it. Subjectivity and art being an empty concept are not necessarily the same, but now I'm being nitpicky. Subjectivity, art, empty concept. Trying to figure out what you mean by an empty concept. Because to me, that is fill in your blank. It's an empty concept and can be fulfilled with anything. Which I agree with that. But usually the term art is subjective is used. Oh, also, there's socks. There's supposed to be socks here. Shit. Fuck. Fuck. The way we use art as subjective is usually means like, I forgot what I was gonna say. Art is subjective because empty concept. Oh. Because people think like they can't do it, or if it doesn't look super nice, it's not really art and things like that. They discount themselves as artists because like it doesn't measure up or whatever towards what they think is good. So you say art is subjective, people can enjoy whatever they want, and it can still be art no matter what you call it, I guess. A concept is ultimately not useful because it either contains everything or nothing. Okay, so that's where I'm saying that it is subjective, because people define because art could mean everything or nothing, but people and the people around you define what they think is or isn't. It's subjective because that line varies from person to person. Like, for example, in terms of like art with meaning, I'm drinking something right now. When I see, like, on Reddit, super upvoted pictures of like someone doing this photorealistic pencil drawing, like super photorealistic, it looks like a photo. That's neat. And it's technically, it is an art skill, but like, to me it's devoid of meaning. If you reproduce a photo exactly, that's a neat skill. But I don't find it very awe-inspiring. Because you didn't say anything with it. You didn't express anything about yourself with it. You didn't say anything with it. Like, no, art shouldn't be deep. Like, this doesn't mean anything, but I'm saying that I like this character, I like this style, I'm presenting myself in a cute way. So it does mean something to me, even if it doesn't mean something like super fancy and artistic or whatever. But like when I see those just their reproduction of photos, it doesn't mean anything. Like it doesn't give me a sense of like who the artist is, what they enjoy, what's important to them, what are just little fun things they like. Because I love it when artists have like really weird fandom whatevers and they put something in there that's just, it's just something that they like for no reason. Because art, like I was saying, art is a means of expression. And they're all the same color. Hold on. Art is a means of expression. Oh, that actually changed the vibe of the picture, but I don't care. So if you express nothing, I don't really would call it art. It's just that the expression can be anything you want. Just express something. That's probably what makes the concept empty. The fact that we can define literally, I mean literally everything as art. There's no objective line. Yeah, it's not objective. There's no objective line to draw because it is subjective. A pain to explain. I hate typing. And like, I know what you mean, but there's no way to define it because it is not a defined thing. It is culture. And culture is ever changing and highly dependent on the time period, location, etc., etc. Art is culture, and culture is not even like highly subjective, but just like it's a factor of so many things. Like, it's why I dislike like people. Like, historic figures did bad things, and they're definitely bad, like, now, and they were bad back then, but, like, if it was culturally accepted, you can't fault them for not knowing what they don't know. Like, they don't know that they don't know. They don't know that there was something better. Because I saw on Tumblr, like, people were like, why is Huckleberry Finn so racist? And just like, that's the point. The point is that it's tackling the issues of racism. And it has bad words in it, but that's, the character was raised into an environment like that. But he chooses to not be like that. So you have to have something uncomfortable to explain that. And you have to understand the time period of when it was made. It was made not very long after, you know, the Civil War itself. The author can't predict the future. They don't know and shouldn't know, you know, in fucking 100 whatever years later that that's a no-no. That's a complete no-no, and just even mentioning it is uncomfortable. I didn't know that. Because, like, people, like, saying the R slur is bad. It's bad. I understand it's bad. But it was part of just, like, culture at the time. People just used it. So getting mad at people for using it in their distant past seems weird, because no one told me that word was bad. It said it was an insult. But no one told me it was bad, don't use it, whatever. All my friends were using it. I didn't know. I don't have anything published on Twitter that says it, but they used to say it, because it just, I grew up with it. I can't know what I don't know. I can't grow up in a place that I didn't grow up. It seems like such a weird way to phrase it, but that's what I've been phrasing it for a lot of things that I've thought about recently. I'm just like, you can't know what you don't know. There's a lot of blaming on that of just like, you should have known better. Just like, it was in the past. I didn't know. It wasn't talked about. It's not what was acceptable, or was acceptable at the time. Dude, because sometimes watching a 90s movie and then just start out with the R slur, I'm just like, oh, okay, okay. It was like a Disney movie, like an actual, like, with the little trash live-action Disney movies that just start out with that, and you're just like, oh, okay, I don't remember this. I don't fucking remember this. Really funny, I watched, like, a Cats Don't Dance again for a while ago, which is, like, a WB movie. So, yeah, it's by Warner Brothers. I mean, yeah, the company was Warner. Used to watch it a lot as a kid. I did not realize that it was an allegory about racism. That flew over my head as a child. Because I told my sister, and they were like, yeah. You didn't know? I'm like, no, it was cats dancing. I don't know. But the one thing I was gonna point out is that, like, it starts out with, like, this guy smoking. No, it doesn't start out, but, like, it gets to this guy smoking a cigar, and then he puts a cigar in the mouth of the main character, and he smokes it a little bit while he's signing something, and it's just like, whoa! Dude. You gave this to your children? But, like, I know that it was not accepted back then, but it's a little bit of a shock. Just like, oh, shit. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. We don't show cigarettes for a children's show at all. Because it wasn't, like, that much later that you start getting like Yu-Gi-Oh! If you haven't seen the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime for the kids WB one, there's like a lot of agents with guns that like point at Kaiba or whatever, and then they're painted out of the American release, but they don't put their hands down. They just paint the guns down, so they're just finger gunning the character, threatening him, like as if they have a gun, but it's just their finger. They're just pointing with their fingers. It's so funny. They didn't want to show guns. Well, it's fine, it's just, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, funny. The world's changed. I'm getting fucking old. I'm getting fucking old, and I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going through early menopause. I don't really know how to confirm that or not, and you talk to my doctor, but like I talked about this morning, I'm just like, to my mom, I'm like, I think, I don't know. Things aren't happening right. Hold on, I need that marker. This is what you call being in the zone, that I can just sit here and do this while I'm talking about utter bullshit. You think it's well known, but I'm sure if you talk to like a Zoomer or whatever, they may not really remember Toonami. And well, it was on Toonami. No, it was on like Kids WB. Was it 4Kids? 4Kids. Yeah, for a while, all the 4Kids stuff was on Kids WB, right? Or is it just Pokemon? I feel like it's on Kids WB. So this color is more orangey, reddish. Guess what was something that I assumed everyone would know, and they just didn't. I'm like, how do you not know? How do you fucking, what do you mean? What do you mean people don't know this anymore? I don't remember what it was though. And I'm not of the camp like, you should know this. I'm like, oh, wow. I guess that's gone now. That information. No longer there. I'm still surprised we use floppy disk to save icons. It's just funny. We use floppy disk as save icon still because there's like no other way to show save because everyone understands that save meant a floppy disk, but then it doesn't mean it anymore, but everyone's grown used to the save icon, so it just means save now. I don't know, but we just got a dub of the 4Kids version. Oh. Yeah, that happened a lot. I don't know particularly why. I don't know if it was like licensing issues, but a lot of countries, like especially Pokemon, they like it would be dubbed in English and then released that they would dub over that with, you know, different languages around the world. I don't know if it was like a distribution thing or something, licensing of why that was the case. Because I think like, so like there was an episode, it's an episode where they go to the school and Giselle, and it's like the one time Ashes ever shows attraction to someone, but it's a super early episode, so I think that's out of character. I choose to believe so. But Pikachu is making noises while everyone else is talking, and it was just too much to isolate, you know, Uchanioka's voice during that. So Rachel Lillis made the voice of Pikachu on that one. But because it was distributed from English into all the other different languages, Rachel Lillis's voice as Pikachu persisted through that episode. Not persisted, it was in a lot of different versions. Just a little neat side effects. So the majority of the world does not know Pikachu's noises during that scene. Which is fine, it's a random noise, but it's just funny. It's funny to me. I should use a better word besides funny. But I feel like when I say it's interesting, when I'm opinionating on something, I just imagine like Redditors or incels being like, it's very interesting. As like saying it's interesting as, because like Elon Musk does it too, like interesting. Basically say like, I'm thinking about this, but actually I'm confirming your suspicions of bad things or whatever. It's just become, I've come to hate the phrase, interesting. It seems like, I don't know, it's somehow become like an asshole response, and I don't know why? I don't know. But yeah, Elon Musk does that. It's like, if there's some example of something that's really awful, he doesn't say, I endorse this because I am full of hate. He goes, very interesting. And I'm just like, can you shut the fuck up? Like, it seems like it, but I also spent a lot of time on like Reddit and shit like that, where it can be used condescendingly. But it may just be a me thing. I haven't like talked to anybody about it. Like, how do you feel about the term? Like when people over-explain something or use it as like implicit meaning. Where's my... Okay, hour 40 minutes. That's not bad. If I get this done in 2 hours, I'll be happy. There's a lot of better reasons to not use the word interesting. My main issue is that it's not saying... Yeah, that too. Interesting also just doesn't say anything. But saying it's funny doesn't mean anything either. But for me, when I say it's funny, I'm like, I just find that the concept and the thought about it to be... I mean, interesting is the word, but like... to be thought-provoking. I find it to be thought-provoking, and I like to use the word, it tickles my brain. Not the word, or the phrase, it tickles my brain. But that's also really weird to say. It's just expressing value-neutral interest, yeah. Fascinating. I go with less, like... At some point in time, I decided to use less, like the way I'm talking now is more rarer. Using less, like, bigger words. I mean, fascinating is not really a bigger word, but, like, relatable words. Like, I say, that's super cool. That's super neat. The use of super is like, I actually am interested, but we're just gonna use a basic word. Not like I assume people don't understand, but I don't know, it's just more relatable. Intriguing. Oh, that's a $2 word. I don't remember the value of words, because we used to always say whatever words because, you know, the SATs or whatever, but I don't know the actual value of what people said it was. I think that's why I'm able to explain concepts to people pretty well, is because I try to use not neutral, but like friendlier terms, things that, like I hate saying this, things that sound less intelligent. Because I ramble on about stuff in the specifics. If sometimes it happens, because someone asked me what the Fediverse was yesterday, but I knew that he could handle complicated stuff, so I said a lot. But if I was just talking to like any person, that would be too much to say, too much specific, too much opinioning, things like that. They did make a YouTube short that's on here about says what's a Lemmy, and I just try to explain it in a very like a friendly way. And someone complimented it quite a lot, not in the YouTube comments, but I showed him. And he's like, this is how you explain things, because tech people don't want to explain things, or they get into the tech too much and not the social impacts of it. And I was talking about, like, you know, community, what that means to the individual person joining, what benefits they would get from like joining Lemmy and things like that. I always talk like wannabe academic. Now that I am one, I will not stop. But I agree with the point about relatability. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's also because I did grow up in the South, and there is a anti-intellectual thread. Like, they both want you to like go to school, but if you talk too smart, I don't know, you get made fun of. I don't know if it's as prevalent anymore, but it was when I was a kid. Which, definitely weird to grow up in, considering we went to, like, a STEM school. But even within the STEM school, there was just, like, this overtone of anti-intellectual. You shouldn't seem too smart, so it seems less relatable when you talk passionately about a subject that is more complex. But yes, accessibility is good. Because, I don't know if you ever saw, when there was a Reddit comment that was talking about, like, human computer, or human computation or something, and, I was looking it up and talking about, like, how it seems interesting, and then someone responded who had, you know, a very scholarly person, who they call it human computer, is it human computer interface? Human computer HCL, human computer, no, it's HCI, human computer interface. I don't know, it's just the study of like how computers affect people psychologically and what can be done about that and what that means and stuff, and what's healthy for people, what's not. And I found it really cool. But part of that is I find it interesting to understand the social impacts of technology, but not in a bad Twitter way, but just understanding when people use this thing, what does it make them feel? Can I do something to make them feel better about it? I like that. More rural areas for me too. It's like, what can I say to make them feel more confident about this technology? Because I love explaining things. Someone's been a bitch to me before because I explained something when they didn't ask. I'm just like, I don't know. Well, they asked like a general question and they didn't want a long explanation. I'm like, I'm fucking sorry. Sorry for talking. This was a long time ago. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I kind of left that, like, general community because there was a lot of... I don't know, I guess... hate putting this term this way, just like a lot of normie things. I don't super like saying normie, but like things that people who, you know, watch the latest TV show don't read up on stuff, and it's not bad that they don't do this, but it's just like there's a general like pushback against having deep discussions in casual conversations. For some people that's not, and for some people, and mostly normal people, that's not really like, I don't want to say appropriate, but like not interesting to them, so they don't exactly respond well of when it's brought up. But I'm like, but I don't know, sometimes I want to talk deeply. But it was just that specific community, like, because it was a Pokemon community, but like for some reason, I don't know, it just attracted less of the nerds and more of the casual, which is fine, and I actually, parts of it I really enjoy, that it was just casual and no one being try hard, but everyone just loved Pokemon. But in the day-to-day Discord conversations, it got to be where I felt like, I don't know, I was unwelcome for not doing the shoe's awful. Okay. For not doing, you know, the normal, standard, polite, I don't want to say non-inflammatory, non-heavy conversations. Like, you just said hi to people, how was your day? And if you said more, it felt like you were being weird. But I was also having a lot of mental stability issues at the time, so I may have been over critical of people's perceptions of me. There's also that. There's that to take into consideration. That's been a problem for a long time, is people trying to prejudge people's feelings about me without like asking, how do you feel about me? Or I feel like we're close, but you're shying away. Did I do something wrong? But I just like assume they hate me. I've done it a lot less, but it's taken a lot of therapy to get there. I can't remember what the point that was originally from, but you know. The point is that I think too hard about how people will react to things. So I intentionally pick my speech I don't do it when I'm streaming, really. But when I'm trying to get a point across or something, I'm very intentional with my words, what I present, what things I focus on, when you don't actually super have to do that. But my brain wants to. Hello, Thundy! I don't have, like, new sub alerts, because, like, they're not on this bot for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, so I don't have an alert for it. But hello! I'm doing an art, especially online. Go along people IRL is fine. I'm starting to interact more online. It's very strange. I mean, I've always been online. I've been chronically online. I don't have a lot of, like, real-life friends. I have, like, my high school friend, and that's about it. This needs a buffer color. Or I just actually need to make this different color. But how are you, Thundy? And we were talking about lots of random stupid shit. If you weren't here earlier. Let's see, is this right? That works. I really have all our friends, mainly online friends. Yeah, I'm like mainly online. I've just been online for a good time, chronically online, just never interacted. Oh, okay. That's fair. Because also, like, when talking about Reddit, I've learned about the 90... Was it? 99-1 rule. You also have YouTube. Make art. That's cool. I'm glad. I'm very glad. what was it? It's the 99, oh shit, I scrolled up on chat. 99-1 rule. But basically, you know, 90% of people are, you know, what you call lurkers, who, you know, consume the content and don't interact, which is perfectly fine. But they're just okay with just, you know, watching. 9% are contribute, like through commenting, through giving things or commenting or things like that, and 1% make new content. And this seems to be fairly consistent over all of the internet. It varies per platform and stuff, but there's a lot of like, there's a small fraction of people who will make new content for people to like enjoy and do stuff. And there's a very large amount of people who like that, because like when we talk about like the silent majority versus the vocal minority, it's because there are a lot of people who don't interact. If something is inflammatory that they don't believe, they still just don't interact. So you can't always get a gauge on like what they feel, because like it will happen on Reddit. That sounds about right. Yeah, it'll happen on Reddit where like all the comments will be really, really negative and have one view, and then there'd be one comment that is like, there'd be one comment that has like a view. It's a top level comment. And then all the comments responding to them will pile in on that person. But that person has a very large majority of the upvotes compared to everyone else. So the people who, you know, lurk and just would upvote stuff actually think what this person thinks, who appears to be in a minority, but they are not. They're not actually in the minority. But if you just read the comments and didn't look, and if you just read the comments of something that doesn't have interaction points like that, you wouldn't know that. You would think because there definitely be people that are like, everybody on Reddit thinks blah blah blah. It's like, no, if you actually look at the comments, you'll see the one voice of reason is actually very highly upvoted. And they'll see comments like, I can't understand why this is upvoted. It's like, you can't understand because people don't agree with you. They just aren't going to comment it. Because like, I've known that in my mind, like the 99-1 rule. I've known that in my mind the whole time, but actually realizing that it's like a thing that's, I don't know if it's studied per se, but it's like been established and talked about. I'm just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's the same thing with like human-computer interfacing. I'm like, these are things that have been important to me. I just didn't know they had a name. It's only counting people who care enough to give upvotes, those who actually have an account. That's true. There's also people who don't upvote. But Reddit makes upvoting and downvoting very easy. But there are a lot of people who use Reddit without an account. Because you don't have to have an account to view. So like the migration to Lemmy probably contains more people than what is user and then what is active user. So active user would probably be like the 9%. Active commenting users would be the 9%, creators are the 1%, and then the other 90% are probably people who don't have accounts. Some do have like accounts and stuff to follow certain communities and stuff. But it's interesting because it's interesting. I find it, use my words, I find it insightful that numbers, big number is not best number. Numbers don't often tell the full story. Because everyone's like, I have, 100K Twitter followers. Like, yeah, but how many people actually talk to you? How long have I been making art? Since I was like 9, and I'm 31 now, but professionally I've been doing pixel art for about 9 years. Insightful is a good one, yeah. But like, I have 100K Twitter followers, but who comments? Because like when I was looking at like how my TikToks were doing, I'd see like one that had less views, but it had more hearts or more comments. Like less people saw this, but that doesn't mean what I made was bad, because the people who did see it really liked it. And just going by I had blank views does not tell the full story of the value of what you've made. The pure numbers will not, it's not numbers bad, never look at the numbers. It's just that the numbers will not inform you fully what people think. Exactly, yeah. So it's very important for people to keep in mind, especially VTubers, because they won't look at other streamers. Like they feel like they're very new, but streaming's pretty old by now. It's relatively new compared to everything online, but like they won't learn from other streamers, and there's many other streamers like before VTubing that, you know, don't get views. Like I've streamed on and off for like 10 years. And majority of it is no comment, no interaction, views. Like people didn't watch my stuff. But you had to learn that, you know, people not seeing your stuff doesn't mean that it's bad. So VTubers, I feel like, get really trapped into like the numbers. They get really, really eaten up by the numbers. Because they feel like they aren't doing something right if they don't have big numbers. But that doesn't tell the full story. Like I have very, very few people who will support me monetarily. I don't have a lot of people viewing me. But the people who do view me tend to really like me and talk to me and have a lot of things to say. So I'm not usually very, like, lonely. As long as someone's on, I usually have at least a few people who just want to talk to me and like talking to me. They seem to enjoy my content. So it doesn't mean, just because I'm not getting big numbers, does not mean what I'm doing is not valuable. Or I'm doing something wrong or whatever. Sorry, I had to go. Bye! Hope you had a good time. Why did that voice sound condescending? I didn't mean that to sound condescending. It sounded cute. I was trying to sound cute, but not on purpose. It just happened. And then for some reason it felt like it sounded condescending. Okay, bye! No, I'm just making a funny noise with my mouth. I'm not really sure how the legs work. Yeah, we've pretty much gotten to box at level at this point. I should do items in the box, but... But yeah, I've had issues with people chasing numbers. Because I'm also of the opinion that, you know, never looking at your numbers is not a good thing either. You should look at the numbers. Like, they do give data, but they don't give the full story is the thing. They can be helpful. Like, to see, you know, this thing I made, most people, they got a lot of views, but most people, you know, clicked away at this certain amount of points. What did I do that, you know, kind of made them get bored? I don't have to fake it, but, like, just knowing what resonates with people, the people that I can't talk to and ask them, getting a little bit of a clue. The fact that there aren't a lot of people here also makes it easier to talk. Like I said, really interact, but a more private environment makes it easier for me. I'm not getting anxious that way. That's good. I'm glad. Like, I don't oppose getting quote-unquote big or whatever, but, like, I really don't want to get big. I just want more consistent art commissions, and sometimes streaming helps that. But, I feel like that too. I'm more engaged in, like, chats and stuff when there aren't a lot of people. And that's how I've made a lot of friends. It's like just being in streams and, you know, and being there and engaging and not just having in the background, which, again, it's not a bad thing to have in the background and just chill. But it's nice. It's nice when you basically just get to talk with a person. Because, like, at one point in time when I played Zelda, my sister was like, can I just get on a call with you? Because they were trying to explain to me so much stuff or talk about stuff, and it's like, it'd easier to just talk to me, which, like, no one else was really there. So yeah, just come talk to me. Yeah, because also my high school friend is like, it's really hard for me to type because I just want to say it to you. Because that's what the general feel of my streams, I guess, are. They're just talking person to person, because there's usually not more than a handful of people. I feel that the first thing I did on Twitter was getting a plugin to hide the number of views and likes. Yeah. Yeah, because, like, they can be used to gauge something, but you have to have... What's the word? I don't want to phrase it like this. You have to have a somewhat strong will, if I wanted to phrase it that way. Like, I am not very enticed by a lot of things. Like, I don't fall into... I don't think I've ever typed this much in my phone. I don't tend to, like, fall into... What's the word? What's the word? I talked about it earlier. Like, there are gaming people who want to challenge and don't want to cheat, but if the cheats are easy, it's too easy for them to use them. They can't help themselves. But use it if it's available. Like the people who complain about, you know, this is the lower difficulty. Why do they allow this lower difficulty in this game? It's like, it's optional. You don't have to use it, but it's still... People feel like they should use it because it's there. They can't help themselves. I'm mostly not like that. So I feel like I'm able to, like, look at numbers and evaluate them a little bit more, like, not critically, but just, like, not take them at face value and not have them super affect me. Many things affect me, but mostly the things that affect me mostly are things on a personal level. Like, personally, people can ruin my mental brain because I want people to accept me and stuff, but I don't associate numbers with that acceptance. I've come to understand that that's not related. It's not wholly related. But for people who do get affected by those things, like, they shouldn't look at their numbers and stuff. If it freaks them out too much, it's good to not look at your numbers. If you can stand it, you shouldn't look at the numbers live. Never look at the numbers live. Don't ever do that. Like, when you're streaming, don't ever look at the numbers live. That don't do that. I don't do that. But every once in a while, just kind of go over, you know, what people liked, because, like, a lot of people that I talk to don't watch their own content back. They don't rewatch what they've made. And because they feel, like, really cringy doing it, but you kind of have to. You should know, like, if there's something you do that you don't like, you won't really know that unless you rewatch your content and be like, I liked it when I did this. I didn't like it when I did this. I thought that was cute. Do you use them as data points, but not as... You use them as data points, but not as validation. Correct. That's definitely a word. If you use them as validation, you will get into trouble mentally if you use them to validate yourself. Which, when I was younger, I definitely did that because I felt like no one could hear me. But that's because that's the way Twitter was. Because you were talking to a void because you didn't get boosted by the algorithm, all that bullshit. But I don't know if I can stand it, but I don't want to risk it. Yeah, if you don't want to risk it, that's perfectly fine. But if you are trying to, like, you know, take streaming seriously, or feel like you should, like, not perfect your craft, but, like, they can be useful. They can be very useful. You just have to be careful. Because, you know, I know a person who got eaten by the numbers. Not friends anymore. That's a term I use. The numbers can eat you. This is not the perspective of a box. Because I was having it, like, go into vanishing point, but that's not really great for pixel art. Because, like, I've been using that recently because, like, and people, like, because what was it? It was, every once in a while, like, I only check Twitter because I'm not really on it anymore, but I only check it when, you know, someone links it or there's, like, a hot button issue and people are talking, so I get a gauge of, and I mainly just post to share my incredibly niche interests with others and have a dumping ground for art. Yeah. But I use it as a kind of social gauge, like, because I like reading, like, Reddit comments and going pretty deep into the concept, or comments, just to see, like, gauge what the social atmosphere around it is on various platforms. So I've been doing that on Twitter, and then I noticed, like, you just don't see a lot of comments anymore, and it's not even just, like, Twitter Blue people or whatever, like, there's just so much less talking and interaction. And so I was like, well, it's just probably a slow day. I'm like, no, this person is, like, has been known on the internet for 10 years. They're talking about a hot topic issue. They're dunking on a brand in a reply. This should warrant them so much more attention. I'm not saying the attention is good or that many people did that, but it's a gauge of how many people are seeing it, how many people are reacting. And it was such drop off. And I'm like, oh god. Twitter really is kind of shit in the bed. Because, that's like not... I do this, it's too thin. This is not where it starts. It starts here. But people are like, I don't pay attention to numbers. I'm like, you don't have to, like, pay attention to numbers, but, like, just to know, like, you really aren't being seen on Twitter. Like, not even in a weird algorithmic way. There's just less of everything on it as things have progressed. And that's one thing I noticed with Mastodon, is that people talk to you. People talk to you. They interact. They say hi. They make comments on things. Like, on Twitter, you would have, like, no one would do anything. There would be nothing in reply to the majority of your tweets unless you were, like, a 800 follower plus person. So, mostly it would be your friends. Which is fine. But, like, if you're trying to use it to, like, say, hi, I'm an artist, commission me, check out my streams, it's a little disheartening. And again, it's not part of your value, but you're like, why? I actually require monetarily to be seen. It's cool. This is Zelda music? Is this like a remix? What is this? Lost Worlds oh, Cadence Hyrule. That tracks. The Cadence Hyrule. Wow, I can't draw a goddamn box, can I? Draw a box. Keep clicking up on the chat. But no, Twitter is going down the shitter. Like, because I meant more so as a point. It's like, yeah, I can't leave Twitter. My audience base is on there. I'm like, but no one's seeing your tweets anymore. Your audience base is dying. You need to diversify your portfolio, if you want to call it that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And Twitter is not a trustworthy basket right now for artists. This is not the right perspective. It's dying a slow death. Well, it's dying a lot faster now that people can't use it. It's dying a lot faster now. But, this. Yeah, also the same thing with, like, VGen. People... Mystic was telling me that people have, like, gotten rid of their cards and, like, stopped taking commissions on other platforms to put everything on VGen, and she's like, no, you don't trust one platform with your everything. You need, I don't know, like, if you're an artist and you're depending on commissions, you really need to diversify. You need to be in different places. It is work. There is a lot of fucking work in terms of, like, advertising and shit like that. Because this is what I call this promotional art, which it's kind of is. But it kind of astounds me when people are kind of blind to that. I'm just like, no, 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 no. Like, this goes back to like, hey, art is nice. It was nice if it's just a cultural thing, but currently we have to make money with it, and you need to pay attention to things like that. Hold on, my brain's processing. I drew all of this, and then I'm having trouble with a goddamn box. Won't go out with a bang. It will bleed until it attempts to point its reach. Yes, definitely. If my living depended on it, I would be on many platforms as I could muster. Yeah. Like, you should... Like, I'm even being a little lazy about, like, not posting on Reddit. Because I support the Reddit blackout, but, like, I do need to make money. So I should probably post there, since I don't currently have commissions. I just hadn't gotten a post ready for the game dev. That's one thing that people are just like, oh yeah, because I track the time that I make art, like the physical time that I am putting pixels onto a canvas. But there's a lot of other time that goes into being a freelance artist that people don't quite realize. And one of those is just like advertisements, talking to clients, trying to come up with things that would attract people, things like that. But yeah, because I'm not of the type, like, you know, professionally I should only post art, avoid posting about yourself, because that was advice at some point in time. However, I don't really subscribe to that, and I think some people do appreciate it in terms of like, hey, this is a person, I think they're cool. I'm very friendly with all of my clients. They seem to trust me as a person, which I'm happy about. Oops. I can't remember the point I was making. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Also, VGen looks sketchy as fuck with a lot of things that it's doing, so just... I don't know, just don't put your eggs in one basket. What are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it! Why can't I draw a goddamn box? What the fuck is wrong with me? VGen is a commission platform that is geared towards VTubers, like VTuber artists doing art, making streaming assets for VTubers. It can be for anyone. But that's what it was geared for. And then they had like, I have a long thread on it, but they had like open beta signups with its manual approval, and we learned that they were just getting artists that were big. Because I got in, but my friend didn't get in, and she applied before me. But I had like more Twitter followers and stuff, and you know, and they were like, hey, tweet that you're going into VGen for us to verify your Twitter account. And I did not do that. I just said I wish places would stop using Twitter as verification. Also VGen or whatever, and that counted. But I got in and, you know, said, hey, when you're ready to launch, one, don't tell people you got in publicly until we announce it, and then post that you got in. And also, you can get your page set up. If you think you're ready, you can post in this channel to say that you're ready. And then I did, and I was told, you know, you should put a button on your website, you know, like says like commission me and link to VGen, like prominently on your website. I'm like, I have not fucking used this platform. I don't know if you're good. Why should I? I'm not going to promote you when I don't know what you're like. I'm testing this. You're in beta. I'm like, you should be making this enticing for me instead of asking me to advertise for you. And we basically figured out that the most hype VGen has got is from artists talking to other artists. Artists are hype about it, but we're not seeing clients use it. We're not seeing people being like, oh, I got this great thing off of VGen or stuff like that. It's artists, and one of it is because VGen so heavily, you know, strongly suggests in their rules in multiple places, you know, to post about it, post you got in. Put the links in your bio, put it in there. And most people kind of go along with it. If they're asked to do something like that, I'm the one who's indignant, like, excuse me. So I told them off, but I didn't check what they said in response because I didn't feel... I started a fight and then didn't feel like listening to it, so I didn't check back. I don't know what they said. It's bad on me because I should have checked. But I was still featured on the page, on the top page. So I was featured on the top row of the new batch in a category that had very few people as a niche artist, and I have not gotten a single commission. And then they just had a post recently about yeah, bad of me. But they just had a post recently about like they've made 1 million in artist profits. And that doesn't really sound right to me. Considering like if it's a really good platform, I feel like I should have heard a lot more about it from people using the platform as clients. But, you know, Mystic said, you know, she doesn't see people posting about VGen or, you know, I got this new streaming asset on VGen. She sees like some artists being like, yeah, I did this on VGen, but like not a lot. And no one like after saying they got VGen into VGen and being really excited actually talking about, you know, what a good experience it is. And the fact that they were the way they were in the first place leads me to believe that they're doing a lot of hype marketing. So because like I don't know if I completely doubt the 1 million artist earnings because they had about 4,000 artists. So that would be like every artist, I think the math was every artist earning about $250, which is not out of the realm of possibility, but also a lot of people weren't getting any commissions. And then you haven't seen like very many big profile people in there. So I'm very suspicious of it. Because I changed my profile a while ago just because I was kind of pissed they didn't let Mystic in. So I was like, they're being suspicious, they're getting us to advertise for them. But I put it in my profile, so I don't know if they've ever taken it down or anything like that. So I won't get commissions because they're not open. But, like, it doesn't smell right. It smells bad. It smells fishy. It smells like fish tacos. But I get really indignant about, like, advertising. Like, I'm not advertising for you unless I trust you. Don't fucking... Oi. Oi. But yeah, but in general, the conclusion was that they really want people to hype them up. And the hype is coming from other artists and not from people actually using the platform. They did make a post about it. Only a few people replied. But someone was like, yeah, I have the exact same thing. My friend didn't get in. My mutual didn't get in. And they said all that stuff about advertising, and I haven't got a single commission. It seems. I wasn't gonna make these. I was gonna make lines. Why is this box taking like 40 minutes? Why have I spent so long on a box? Because we're at 2... Because I was like almost done at 140 and we're at 220. How much time on this goddamn box? Jesus Christ. This is the point, because I was gonna say before, like, I track my time. I track, like, the time that my pen goes on to my thing, and I calculate my earnings based on that, and, like, if I should spend, I should be getting such and such money per hour, so I should price according to this. But you also have to take into factor the, you know, the unseen things. But I still use it as a good measuring stick of, like, this emote should not take me 2 hours. I should be able to do an emote in 20 minutes, or else I should be pricing higher. So my prices are actually kind of not cheap, but not expensive. Not as expensive as they probably could be. Because, I can do things pretty quickly. Because I'm not obsessing over my time, but, like, it's a good indicator. Because if I'm doing something and I'm only making, like, 20 bucks an hour when I only get 10 hours of work per month, that's not really good. So, that's not good. So I should be making sure that my prices are in accordance to what is valuable to me, how many commissions I get per month. Numbers. It's numbers again, but, like, using the numbers strategically to inform things. Not just being like, I don't earn money, I feel bad. It's like, I should earn both what is feasible and what I deserve. And the basics can be deceptively hard. When was the last time you drew a box? I mean, it's been a while since I drew a box. It's true. It's a box in perspective. But, like, from back here, it doesn't look like anything. It's just a box. In fact, I spent so long. That's a box. But we did say we wanted to put, like, items on it. Let me save it back up. It's been... Oh, a lot of times I wanted to save, like, in-process things. Like, when I just had the colors. But I just did it all. I did it all. So I no longer have the colors. Where does this come from? Oh, I was putting the colors down. And if you notice, I work in mostly one layer. I'll use one layer to have something, and then I'll merge it back in. I kind of thought about making this animated, but it's pretty big. But I mostly work in one layer. So it ends up I keep working on it, and then I don't have the in-process things. They're not on a different layer. What was it gonna? I wanted items. Should at least maybe make a shadow. Yeah, it's not gonna be like a clean circle shadow. It can be like the foot gets in the way. It's also a box. I don't know. I'm not gonna shadow. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'd make different layers for different steps of the process. It's because I use Pixel Edit because I can quickly, like, grab, or that's the wrong layer. I can just grab this and copy it over, so when I'm done I can just go like that, and if I remember I can sit each one down. Whoops, I keep pressing slightly on the side so I get the scroller. I'm using tablet? No, I'm not using tablet. I have a tablet, and I have used it for pixel art. I used to never do pixel art on a tablet, but I have used it for some things. But I did use a tablet, like, you know, to sketch this, and then I used the program Pixelover to create this pixelized outline of the sketch. But majorly I do things with the mouse. The tablet on the screen is just because people found it, like when I did speed paints, hard to track what I was doing. Because I'm working on a pixel by pixel basis even if I'm close up. So it's easier for people to, like, see what I'm doing. Because I am drawing in front of people. They should see what I'm doing. I should let them see what I'm doing. Did I say something? Just kind of deciding what I want to do with this. If I want, like, items or something. Mouse for pixel art. I find the mouse the easiest. Like, I did some of the Stardew sprites that I did with a tablet because it was kind of nice to just draw on a tablet. It had been a while since I've ever had a draw on a screen tablet because I had them. The schools had them in college. So I was doing that. But when it comes to like rendering details, I find like the amount of pixel by pixel basis that I am grabbing and putting and grabbing and putting is much easier with a mouse. If I'm actually drawing something like larger than this, because this is like based on a Secret of Mana thing, but I did it all pixel. If I'm drawing something, anything larger or full bodied, I will actually, you know, draw it and then convert it to an outline. But when you're just rendering things and slowly rendering out the forms, I find mouse is best. For me at least. Alright, I'm missing, this is a pink button. Oop. Oh god, that shows up a lot. A pink button. That shows up a lot. Shit. Intentional, my pink button. I don't even know if the button's on the right side. You know what? For artistic sake, I'm gonna take that out. It's fine. There's a button in there if you check, but it brings too much attention to the crotch. Sometimes use magic tablet for really large pictures or non-pixel art. Yeah, non-pixel art, non-tablet. You can do non-pixel art with a mouse. We talked earlier that the used to just only do it with a mouse. But especially small pixel art, I'm very used to using a mouse. I find it the most comfortable. So I feel like I should also like redo my logo because I do have all over here because this is gonna be promo for reintroduction on Mastodon. I have bypassed it. Where go? I made this a long time ago. But I'm not super in love with it. It's been a while. Is it that big? Shit, it's big. I like my potions, but I feel like I need a different mark. Preferably something much smaller. Let's do that. Let's do that while I'm here. But this is the backup. I need to save it into the normal one. Shit. It's working on the backup? No. This one I had a pixel font and then I edited it, which is why I kept it bigger. If only I could draw letters. Logo design, much harder. It's getting quite late. You should go to bed. You should definitely go to bed. It's only again about 5 here, which is kind of late for me streaming. I usually stream much earlier, as you know. Looking clean. Yeah. It's pretty much finished. We were just talking about like this is my old logo and I'm kind of not in love with it. It's kind of large. So like maybe I should, while I'm here and I'm still in the mood, make a logo. Yeah. Have a good night. We were talking about life. Very, very deep conversation that has no right to be in a random stream, but it is, and it's there. Bye-bye! It's just the way I work. Logo is the one thing that I should probably, it is what it is. Probably an interesting VOD to go back and watch. Like the logo is something that I should probably go get someone to do for me, but like I'm the DIY. I must do the thing myself, because why the fuck would I not? I have the power, therefore I should. That's actually not true. There are a lot of things that I shouldn't do just because I have the power to. What? If someone say hi, I'm going out for lunch. Yeah. Hope you have a good lunch. If I don't figure this logo out, I'm probably about to end. It's pretty cute, kind of. It's fat, man. Didn't I have a new logo? Wait. Oh, it was the Miss New Star. I don't really love that one. So, oops. Let's see. Oops, I keep hitting the scroll bar when I'm going over to select things. So let's see. This should be that. I like that one. Ready. What about the gold? And for darker colors, this one's okay. Well, we could do this one. And these are morphed together in terms of the dark ones. They're all related. These should actually be opposite. This is kind of how logo design works. It's just usually supposed to be a little different. That's kind of cute. I kind of like that. I feel like I should put like a mark, though. I should put like some type of imagery besides just the name. Can I make a little tiny baby potion? The tiniest baby potion you've ever seen? It's already being not tiny. I think I made like a small potion like this before. We did green, because that green is part of my design, but I've axed green completely. That looked like a potion, though. Actually like read like anything from this far back. Not really with that outline. Chinese baby potion, you can imagine it's not looking great. And I finished the art around like 2:30, I'm gonna say. 2 hours and 3 minutes for this. So we'll go with that. Stick with shades. That's not working, but I'm just gonna look at it. Yeah, no, not at all. That's fine. Put the little one note on the bottom. It's kind of nice. But I'm not in love with it. Not super in love with it. I kind of want my crystals really bad. Like, let me look at my crystal. Let's make something based on my crystal. I really like that. I'll just stick the crystal in my colors. Etc. Crystal dress. Here one. It's based on something else that I maybe should have taken around, but I have. So this is larger, but not as large as the other one. How does this crystal look with my colors? Not as great. Okay. It's not quite working the way I want. Yeah, that doesn't look as great with as like an isolated crystal. I really like this color ramp really bad. It's my favorite color ramp. But it's also the logo for crystals.res. Not me. It's not my color. But I just really like it. See, green looks so good, but I'm not using green. But the colors are pink. Oh, that's a juicy looking crystal. I like that one. I need this one for this one. Should have incorporated crystal to my design a little bit more. That one I like. Just gonna use the same fucking thing. That doesn't work, it's too big. Now that I have that idea, I can make a smaller. A smooshy. Smoosh the smooshy. That doesn't look like a crystal anymore is the problem. Looks kind of funny. People probably gonna be like, what's that? I'm like, it's a crystal. What do you mean? That looks bad. Just draw from scratch. Draw myself a different crystal. I did do that before, my, like, whatever, the Oshi mark, or whatever the fuck you call it. I, had it as a gem. Because, you know, alchemists mess with things. Make it the gem on your chest? But that one's boring. Hi, you live! Once we finish this, we're about done. Because this is about done, pretty much. Oh, I went away, so it was off that. But that's fine, because I finished it. It is pretty much done. I was just thinking I should probably, like, redo my logo. Because this is the old one. And this is fairly fucking large. I like it. I'm happy with it. I don't know if I should wait till, like, tomorrow. Because VTubers aren't, like, hitting the same time that other Mastodon users are, especially on .art. So I think I can post it like around now and still actually work compared to being dead hours on normal Mastodon. VTubers have different sleep schedules. Because if I didn't have to simplify things, like the gems on my chest and hand would not be circular. They would be like lumpy, like an actual crystal. But in pixel art, they're this small, so like it works for me to simplify them. Chunky gemstones are actually quite my favorite. Or, not gemstones, crystals, but, you know. I do also like gemstones. It's just sometimes, especially when you haven't drawn crystals in a while, it's hard to, like, get them right. Skyloft. Oh, a little different. I think it needs to be pointed-y. Going in and out because, like, logos are seen at different angles. This purple seems like too intense. Like, it looks really nice on this one, but, like, it's not quite traveling correctly. I like that effect. Can't make it do that, or else it'll fade into something. That's not gonna work, but maybe I could use this a little bigger. I don't think I'm good enough just to have, like, the N be it. And just be N. More than one letter in this economy? I mean, I'm already like Cher. I don't even have a last name. But that's kind of too hard to read. Too tiny. I think it's cute, but I would like to be able to actually read it. What did I just say? I did it like that. A's are funny to me because, like, one day, because I always wrote my A's like this. Oh, let me do it larger. I wrote them like this, and then one day I decided I wanted to write them like this. And I just kept with it. So I want real Nina. A's. This. The fancy superior. Yeah. For some reason my friend called me weird because I did that. I'm like, excuse me. Why am I weird for changing the... I wanted to write the letter different. That can still be small. Just an I. That looks a little bit like ding. Ding. I'm not in love with the A. Or the N. I should have someone else do my logo. But no, I don't wanna. It's too far. It's too close. That's awful. That looks like an H, kind of. Okay, what the fuck am I doing? Let's just write my name normally and stick across the text. Nothing too super fucking fancy. Actually, you know what I like? I actually like my name uncapitalized at times. Definitely needs an outline to it. For a long time I did uncapitalize my name. But I started writing it just as Nina at some point in time, or like with the capitals at some point in time. I'm not exactly sure why I did that. Shit. Looking at like 1x, but not really probably gonna see it in 1x. I feel like I should go reverse this. Like that color. This. That color. I like outlining things. If you haven't been able to tell. So if we do this, Mastodon doesn't like the background. Do I have anything else there? I don't. Oh, because I was gonna do that. So put this on the background for things that can't be transparent. Let's do like a blue. And this is where it stick. My logo. Like right here. Yeah, it's just my name. But it's all pixely because I do pixel art. Just trying to look at a different. I like it. I want to move the crystal up by 1. Yeah. Okay, this is my source of truth. Yeah. Cool. So I'm gonna work on making that a reintroduction post. So that should be it for stream. We went for almost 3 hours. We did it good. Because I was talking earlier that, like, what happens is that when I finish a task, I get really tired and want to do something else. But since I was doing, like, a full drawing, I could sit and do the whole thing at once. Because I wasn't finishing a task or whatever. So. Yeah! Well, good stream. Happy. So I will see you guys later.